Today, we're not looking at your charts. We're not analyzing your strategy. We're performing a neural autopsy. We are going to look directly at the chemical imbalances in your brain that are quietly dictating every single move you make in the market. We're here to deconstruct the dopamine deception. I want you to really think about this for a second. You just closed the biggest trade of your career. Your account balance is way up. But the feeling is hollow. There's a question just hanging in the air, a question your biology is screaming, but your conscious mind just won't ask. Why does winning feel so empty?
For just a split second, right? There's a flash, a surge of heat in your chest. It's that moment the numbers flip green and you smash the close button. That's what you think you're chasing, that brief, fleeting warmth. But then, maybe 5 minutes later, a strange silence starts to set in. The warmth? It's gone. And it's replaced by this blank, hollow sensation. You're just staring at the screen, staring at the numbers, and you feel nothing. Or even worse, you feel the absence of something you thought would be there.
And this is when the real trouble starts, the irritability, a deep, gnawing restlessness. You start scanning the charts again, almost compulsively, hunting for the next setup, even when you know, logically, there's nothing there. See, your biology doesn't care about your bank account. It only cares about the next chase.
To really understand this vicious cycle, we have to go deeper. We need to examine the source code of your motivation. Right now, we are entering the operating system of your trading brain.
Deep within the most primitive part of your brain, there's a structure called the striatum. Now, from an evolutionary standpoint, its job wasn't to make you feel good when you found food. No, its job was to release dopamine to give you the energy to go search for it. It rewards the seeking, not the finding.
So what happens now? Well, modern trading platforms have basically turned into digital dopamine dispensers. When you get a surprise win, an outcome that's way better than you expected, your brain experiences something called reward prediction error. This is the secret language of your neurochemistry, and it triggers a massive spike in dopamine.
And this, right here, is the absolute core of the deception. Dopamine is not a pleasure molecule. It's a molecule of craving. Its entire job is to make you want more. So the second that trade is closed and the chase is over, its job is done. And just like that, it vanishes. This leads directly to what we call the post-win crash. After that huge spike, your dopamine levels don't just return to normal, they plummet below your baseline. Your brain is now in a state of chemical deficit, and it starts demanding another hit just to feel stable again. You see, you're not chasing profit anymore. You are desperately overtrading just to chase the chemical balance of your own mind.
I want you to pause for a moment. Let's do a quick dopamine audit on yourself right now. If you recognize this hollow, restless feeling, that crash after a big win, go to the comments below and type one word, baseline. Just acknowledge it. You're definitely not alone in this.
But winning, believe it or not, is only half of the equation. The deception becomes so much more powerful when we start to look at the neurochemistry of what happens when you lose.
Think about it from a survival perspective. For our ancestors, failing to find food meant death. Finding a little extra food was just a bonus. So your brain is hardwired for something called loss aversion. The pain of losing is processed with roughly twice the emotional intensity as the pleasure of an equivalent gain.
Just look at the chemical contrast here. It's staggering. A $1,000 gain gives you a brief, fleeting little flick of dopamine. A $1,000 loss, though, that floods your entire system with cortisol, the stress hormone. It's not just a bad feeling. It's a sustained, toxic chemical bath. This massive imbalance creates what we call a negative skew. You actually stop trading to win, and you start trading simply to avoid the chemical pain of being wrong. This is exactly why so many intelligent traders will hold a losing position all the way down to zero. They are biologically terrified of that cortisol spike that comes from admitting they were wrong. But there is one part of this deception that is more lethal, more dangerous than all the others. It's an experience that feels like you're making progress, but is, in fact, a complete neurological trap. We're talking about the near miss. So here's how it works. Your trade gets within inches of your take-profit target, and then it reverses and hits your stop loss. So you lost money. But here's the crazy part. fMRI studies show that a near miss activates the exact same reward centers in your brain as an actual win. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference. It thinks your failing strategy is working, and it chemically manipulates you into doing it again and again. So, we've performed the diagnosis, we've dissected all the biological traps, now we move to the prescription. This is the clinical protocol to rewire your neurochemistry for disciplined execution.
First, you have to accept a difficult truth. If that dopamine rush is the enemy, then your greatest ally is not excitement, it's boredom. The most successful institutional traders, they don't seek thrills. They execute a statistical edge with such repetitive monotony that it becomes profoundly unexciting.
So here's the protocol to get to that state. Number 1, the post-win lock. After any win, you must physically leave your desk for 90 minutes, no exceptions. This allows your dopamine levels to return to baseline. 2, the process reward. Stop staring at your P&L, reward your discipline for following the plan, not the financial outcome. And 3, the cortisol buffer. Your amygdala is the fierce center of your brain. By using automated exits, you completely bypass that emotional hijack that happens when you have to manually click the button on a losing trade.
You have to understand, the market isn't really a financial system. It's a giant, unforgiving mirror that reflects your own internal chemical state right back at you. If you trade for the thrill, for that dopamine hit, the market will systematically take everything you have in exchange for that feeling.
So remember this as your final diagnostic tool. If it feels like a rush, you're not trading, you're gambling. And in this arena, the house always wins.